showing up on Facebook yet. All right. Well, it's looking like I think we're live now. All right. Hey, not really sure if we're live or not, but Jay said, "Hey, Hope HSM is now live. Look at that. That's beautiful." All right. So, um, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We're talking about connecting with your kids. The kind of our theme for the day, the things we do to connect with our kids in whatever stage of life they're in. That lays the foundation for staying connected for the rest of their lives. So we're going to be unpacking that today. So in our notes, it said, tell a compelling story to draw in the viewer of something that's interesting. And we thought, ways that we failed. What story can we tell about ways we failed? And we realized we have about 1,000 of those.
Yes, because when you think about that moment when you're just wanting to have some quality time as a family, you're just wanting to connect, and before you know it, you get in the van and the kids are already fighting, or you're not even 2 miles down the road and someone has to go to the bathroom, or now someone's hungry, or someone just blew out a diaper. And so connecting as a family, it's difficult, and I think we have more family fails than we have family successes when it comes to connecting sometimes. Like, for example, one time we tried to go and do a family photo, and we hired the photographer, the whole thing, and by the time we got there, one kid had blown out a diaper, another kid was crying because they needed a snack, another kid kept running around and like pulling on the lights and stuff. It was awesome. The picture is a train wreck.
It is a funny picture. The diaper was the worst part. Everything else is normal.
Pooped all over us, and so you can't recover from that.
Sure, it was brown.
Yeah.
We did a birthday party for one of our kids at a park, and we brought in. She liked cowgirl stuff, and so we brought in this guy who was doing rope tricks, and she hid the whole time. She didn't want to see it. Hid behind the slide.
Tons of planning. 30 kids there. My kids hiding behind the slide. It was awesome.
But she didn't poop.
No, she didn't poop that time. And then one time we tried to go see Santa. And so we can't find one of our kids, and I find her upstairs, and she'd gotten into my makeup, and her whole face and outfit and whatever is just covered in makeup.
Like
and I'm thinking, we are going to the person who declares if you are naughty or nice in this moment. You have failed. You're getting no presents. It was rough.
Yeah.
And so connecting as a family, it's not for the faint of heart.
We decided we are experts at failing at this job. So glad that we're talking about this today.
We're just proud our kids are still alive. That's successful to us. Yeah.
So real quick, I'm Tim. I'm the high school pastor here at Hope. This is my wife, Tasha. She has a PhD in marriage and family counseling and is in private practice in Apex, Broomtree Counseling. So you can check her out. We do have a lot of fail stories, but we have some wins as well, some lessons we've learned over the years. And so we just thought we'd unpack a few of those. If you are watching, hey, we are encouraging you to like, share, retweet, add comments, all that stuff. We are going to do a giveaway. Everybody who makes comments will be entered into a giveaway drawing. So here's just a few thoughts. Again, kind of our key sentence for the day is the things we do to connect with our kids and whatever stage of life they're in, that lays the foundation for staying connected with them the rest of their lives. So first is you got to think long term. We said early on when our kids were born, we want to be best friends with our kids once they're married and once they're adults. We can't be best friends now, but the things we do now lays the foundation for that. Being their best friend can't start when they're 25. It starts when they're 2, 3, 4, 5, moving into adolescence. And so the things we do now, they lay that foundation.
And so I think one of the ways that we do that is if they're interested in something, then that becomes one of our interests as well. And so there were years when we played lots of Polly Pockets and or built with lots and lots of Legos. We went through that phase, and now we have teenagers, and we watch lots of YouTube videos of very, very strange things and memes that I really don't understand most of the time, but if they interest my kid, then they're going to be an interest of mine.
And I don't love it. I mean,
no,
sitting on the couch watching YouTube videos is dumb.
It's not my thing,
but
it's their thing.
That's right. And so we don't say it's dumb to them.
No, in fact, I think that kids are just kind of like us as adults. If I tell you something that I'm interested in and you criticize it or you make fun of it, then I put a check mark next to your name and declare you as someone who I'm really not going to share a whole lot about my life because you just kind of make fun of it. And I think as adults we kind of think sometimes we can make fun of kids or we can joke about their interests or whatever, and I think maybe socially we can, but I do think it kind of creates a barrier. And so I think instead if there's moments where we can allow kids to be the expert, so show me how to do this, show me how that's really cool what you did with your Legos, show me how to do that. I remember my girls were into skateboarding, and so one year for Mother's Day, they said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I want a longboard. I want you to teach me how to longboard like you guys. And I'm not stellar, but
You're pretty
I
stellar.
can hang,
Yeah.
with longboard.
Yeah.
Um,
I like to play video games when I was a
mhm.
kid, and my kids kind of liked video games, but they played Minecraft, which I didn't love, but we did say I did say, teach me how to play Minecraft. We would sit on the couch and they would show me how to play Minecraft, and so I didn't love it, but it was interesting to them, and I'm trying to connect with them with this long-term vision in mind.
So these are just real time connect moments, and I think just a side note as far as interests. If you've got a kid who's talented, maybe they're good at sports or theater or music. While that definitely becomes part of the family life, I would encourage you make sure that that the majority of your connect points aren't just based around their performances.
Yeah.
Did they play well that day or not? Are stats in their favor or not? Vocally, were they strong today or not?
Yeah,
But
and you can celebrate when they do well, but we've tried to use language instead of saying, "Hey, you played a great game." Say something like, "Hey, I love watching you do something you love to do." That way, we're connecting with something they're interested in. We're celebrating them, but we're not connecting it to performance. We're
mm-hmm.
still just celebrating who they are.
Yeah.
Another thing we try to do is ask better questions. Instead of just asking your kid, "Hey, how was your day?" And I work with high schoolers, and we hear parents say, I try to talk to my kids. They don't open up. I ask them how was their day. I ask them what's going on. They just don't volunteer that information. And so I wish they did too more naturally, but they don't. And so just ask better questions instead of how was your day. Say something like, "Hey, tell me about the last thing you did with your Legos. Tell me about what song you're writing right now. Tell me about this picture that you're drawing. Tell me about what level you're playing on your video game. Tell me about your best friend. What makes them your best friend? Tell me about something that scares you, or tell me about anything that you've wanted to talk about that you haven't had the courage to ask us about yet."
I think kids are just like us. If you ask me how my day was, I might just kind of go, oh, it was fine. But if you ask me about something that I'm interested in, then I light up and I engage and lean into that conversation a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think another thing, when we think about connecting, I would encourage you to spend less money, and I'll tell you why. Making memories
Time out.
through
You're welcome. Okay, go ahead.
making memories through creativity versus indulgent experiences. We've been there. We've tried to create the big moment. And I've noticed, at least in our family, the more money we spend creates more stress, and the more stress we feel, it really compromises our ability to connect as a family. And so I think we've just kind of, and it doesn't mean that we don't do the big things, but I do think I've lowered my expectation on the big things, because I think sometimes I kind of hope for this hallmark moment, and really I think the more money we spend, the more anxiety, the bigger the train wreck. Whereas sometimes the best connect times are free. It's just giving natural life maybe a title. What's for dinner tonight? Hey, it's taco night. Um, I didn't plan for taco night. I'm just cooking tacos because it's easy, but now we've turned it into a
Yeah.
party.
Put some Mexican music on your playlist. It's taco night.
Yeah, it's taco night. Now it's a
I
party.
caramba.
Yeah, and so we're all excited about it now. Or, even dinner time. We have teenagers, and so we're actually able to sit at the table, and they don't throw food anymore, and they don't stand on the table anymore. And so we have made it past those moments. But one of the things that we do at the table, instead of just asking how everybody's day was, we always ask the same question: what was the best part of your day? And we feel that that question helps us connect better, because when we don't ask what was the best part of your day, we have this tendency to just kind of complain
Yeah.
and talk
All the
about the
tough
things that
parts.
got on our nerves that day. And so,
And our rule too is if you're a guest in our house, like if you come over for dinner, you got to answer the question too, "How was your day?" And
yeah.
so it's funny to watch grandparents and friends who we don't know very well try to lean into, "Well, I'm glad to be here," whatever. So
I
uh,
like tacos.
and then Tasha's grandfather was a carpenter, and
Mm-hmm.
so when he would order nails, they would come in a keg, a small keg. And so the slang for their family became, "Hey, we're going to go open a keg of nails," because that was a big day.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've kind of adopted that language. When we're going to go do something fun as a family, we say, "Hey, don't make plans for Saturday. We're going to go open a keg of nails."
Yeah.
And
My
sometimes,
grandfather would say that we call it that because when you open the keg of nails, the nails are all shiny. And so I guess when you're a carpenter, and I don't know, that's a big deal.
you take what you can
But
get.
opening a keg of nails, that's a big deal. It just means that we're going to have fun and it's a surprise. But that could just mean ice cream, or we're
Yeah,
going to the park, or,
yeah.
you know.
I think the bottom line for us is we want our family life to be more compelling than anything else our kids are involved in. The reality is, connecting is rarely convenient. So, our oldest, she wants to come in and have a deep conversation at 11 p.m. I'm tired. Like, I'm going to bed at 11. Well, I gotta recognize. Sometimes I do say, parenting's closed. You need to go to bed, or do whatever. Other times we do look at each other and say,
Yeah,
all right,
let's lean
we
in.
sit up and turn the lights on and we have some conversation because that's when it's convenient for her. We have another daughter who she wants to connect while we're cooking dinner, like during dinner time. So we're running and trying to get things done, and she wants to tell us these. Well,
Yeah,
it's
she's
not.
not offering to help with dinner.
That's
Like
right.
like we're not that family yet, but she does want to connect during that time.
And it's not convenient.
Mm-hmm.
But if we want to connect with them, the things we do now to connect with our kids, let's say that lays the foundation for how we're going to connect with them as adults.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not convenient, but we want to do it. But the reality is, we can't compete with a lot of things culture offers. We don't have a production studio. We don't make our own cartoons, and we don't craft like we can't do what culture can do. But we can give them what culture can. We can give them a sense of identity. We can give them a sense of community, and we can give them a sense of purpose. And I think if we give that to our kids from the time they're born until adulthood, we will become the place where they want to stay connected and be connected because we're giving them what nobody else can give them. And so a couple things we said earlier, adopt their interests. Well, there are things we want our kids to like some of our interests as well. And so I went to LSU, so I want my kids to be LSU fans. And so when it's LSU game day, we don't say shut up, the game's on. Like we wear purple and gold and we cook fun food and we say, hey, it's game day, come on, we're gonna hang out, and it's gonna be a fun day. So we try to make it into a party. I love to go fishing. My kids don't like to go fishing.
No.
And so I bribe them. I say, if you come fishing with me, we will go to the store and I'll buy you any snack that you want. You can bring it on the boat. So my kids love to
Yeah,
go fishing
because we love to eat.
because they don't pick up a fishing pole, but they do
No,
love
they eat the
fishing.
whole time.
I think ultimately we want to communicate five things to our kids. We want to communicate, I like you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think I love you is a given. We want to communicate, I like you. We want to communicate, you're important to me. We want to communicate, I accept you. We want to communicate, you're good enough. And we want to communicate that we're family, and so we belong together.
Yep.
And I think when we do that, that doesn't start when they're in their 20s. And listen, if your kids are teenagers right now and you feel like I missed some opportunities, start where you are. Like, just start where you are. That's okay if you miss some stuff. Start where you are and start rebuilding that now. The things we do to connect with our kids in whatever stage of life they're in, that lays the foundation for staying connected for the rest of their lives.
So we want to give you guys some resources. I think a few things. Just Google it, like Google free or cheap things to do in Raleigh, or there's also like on Pinterest dinner time conversations for preschoolers, for elementary age, for middle school, for high school. It just kind of gives you, questions like, if you could do anything you wanted for a whole day, what would it be? And
Superpower, pick a superpower, or whatever. Just
yeah.
fun questions like that.
Mm-hmm.
We play old school board games. We do dominoes. Tasha hates Monopoly, but we try to do that sometimes. My kids are older, and so we've started playing Ticket to Ride,
Mm-hmm.
nerdy, dorky game, but it's a lot of fun, and we just hang out together. The point isn't to win the game or even get through the game. The point is just to be connected,
Mm-hmm.
connect together.
When the girls were little, they were into Junie B. Jones books, and so there were lots of summer nights out on the back deck where Tim would read Junie B. Jones to us, and he's got a really good Junie B. Jones voice, and so just story time over dinner, no screens, just kind of old school outdoors. It's fun and cheap and easy.
Yeah. Just some books that may be helpful. You may be familiar with the five love languages. If not, I'd highly recommend that. They also have versions of that for kids, for teens, so you can kind of help learn what language does your kids speak, how do they hear love and receive love. And then students today are into the Enneagram. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we're noticing that high schoolers and college students, especially, they're into the personality test, Enneagram, and you can just kind of Google one of the tests. It'll give you a number, and they just like being able to identify who they are as far as temperament, and then the people that they're in relationship with, and an easy way to kind of become familiar with Enneagram is Instagram has an Enneagram and coffee. They do a really good job of identifying the different types, and it's just kind of a fun way to have a conversation with older kids.
Yeah. And then last thing, invite your kids to help plan stuff, to help be a resource as well. few months ago, we had a Saturday off altogether, which we don't always doesn't always happen. And so we said to our kids, "Hey," I said, "you have $20. Plan something fun for us to do as a family."
Yep, we want to open a keg of nails. You get to plan it.
Yep. And so it was a lot of fun. So just a couple things. I don't really see some comments. I'm gonna leave those. Just leave those alone. If you have a question, post it on there, and we'll check in later on and try to answer.
I see someone hates Monopoly too. Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We are on the same page.
If you make a comment, let's say anytime today, we'll go through those and we'll do a drawing and you'll get a giveaway. We'll give you a book. It's called "What Kids Need to Succeed." It's based on some fantastic research from the Search Institute. If you have thoughts on other future topics you want us or other folks to address, this happens every other week on Wednesday. Check out ParentHub.net. That kind of is the source for everything that happens through Hope Community Church as a resource to parents. And so great articles depending on the age of your kids and just resources for you as a parent to help you stay connected and deepen your own faith. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I don't know what announcements are. I have these cool cards. If you have a parent of a high schooler, would love to hear from you and love to connect. We do have camp coming up, so jump in on that. Happening in July. Middle school ministry. Going strong. Got a couple weeks left of squad night, and then summer program is happening. Got a camp coming up this summer. Got Best of the Mess coming up this summer. Connect with that. Special needs ministry is awesome. Kid Cities is great and fun. I don't know what else.
High school pastor. I don't know.
But ParentHub.net has all that information, and so you can check into that, and that'll be great. So hey. Thanks to check. Hey, there's one thing. Somebody said, did anyone catch the fifth item they're trying to communicate? The fifth is to make family life more compelling. So let's go over those real fast, and we'll be done. 5 things. Number 1, think long term. Number 2, adopt their interests. Number 3, ask better questions. Number 4, spend less money. And number 5, make family life more compelling. The things we do to connect with our kids in whatever stage of life they're in, that lays the foundation for staying connected for the rest of their lives. All right. Thanks for joining us. I hope to hear from you soon.